It worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Awesome.
It worked so good.
Happy Tuesday.
I was so nervous about it working. It worked. It worked. It worked.
I know. Last week we had just a little technical glitch.
It was fun. People was looking at me like I was crazy.
Oh, but it worked. We're good.
So glad to see everybody. Happy Tuesday to you guys.
Yes.
We got an amazing word for you on tonight. Look who's been just hanging out with me.
Hanging out now that it's summertime again in Georgia. It was winter blizzard time the other week. Not like 70 degrees.
Yeah, it was so warm today. It felt good today. It was pretty.
Felt so good.
Me and Daniel, we went out and hung out today. It felt really, really good. Then I got a visit from my oldest son.
Yes, he came.
And sometimes I don't know if he's visiting or is he shopping, because somehow when he leaves, shopping. All of our groceries are gone.
He was visit shopping, and then he indicated the things that we generally have, but we don't have, as if he was disappointed that he couldn't get it during his shopping run. So.
But I think he said, okay, because what happened, he came and he was saying something about, he had to get some stuff done to his car and stuff like that. But he was saying something about the Super Bowl party. And how he missed the Super Bowl party.
Yeah. Oh, well.
All right, we time to get started. Okay, now I'm going to try to do this again myself. I'm going to make the announcements. Ooh. Okay, so, because, it's...
We're waiting.
We're ready. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
First announcement.
All right.
No, it's not the announcers.
Uh-oh.
Here go the announcers.
You can tell them about it.
Yeah, so our
you don't
first
always
announcement.
Have to have a picture.
Our first announcement is right here, our next meetup. See, it didn't do it.
Just tell them. Tell them about
There it is. So our first meetup, there it is. The Marriage Reboot will be February the 21st.
Saturday, February 21st, 10 a.m.
at the Academy for Advanced Studies
in McDonough, Georgia.
Guys, y'all please come out. It's going to be a really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good event.
It says Marriage Reboot. Bring, if you're married, bring your spouse, invite a friend, a cousin, a neighbor. Come on out and join us on February 21st.
All right, here's our next one right here. Every Saturday, 10:30 a.m., you can catch us live.
Yes, every Saturday except that fourth Saturday, because we will be in person.
And our last announcement, if you want to connect with us, all you got to do is scan that QR code right there, and it'll tell you all the wonderful events that we have coming up. And those different things that.
Well, I got another announcement.
What's that?
Like and subscribe to the YouTube station.
Yes, guys. Yes, because our goal, we're trying to grow our YouTube station, and right now we're at 306 subscribers.
Okay.
Our goal this year is to hit 500 subscribers.
I got a higher goal, but that's
so
fine.
We want you guys to join that. We got a good word for you on tonight. Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mommy.
No, I was going to say share, tell a friend, get the word out.
All right, guys, this is where we are. This is what we've been talking about. Love and respect is like food and water, right? And we said that you can do without one, right? But in a marriage, we alluded this to a marriage, okay? Love is water and one is food, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of these you can do without.
Yes.
For a short period of time.
For a season.
And so for a man, the water, he could do without food for a while because we fast sometimes, but you can't do without water. So the water for a man in a marriage is respect.
Okay.
The water for the female is love. So you did the same thing that you did last week. You did the same thing you did last week. Yeah. No, like,
we were just joking about that before we came. I didn't get you, did it?
Yeah, I was like,
yes.
So. All right, so love is the.
I'm sorry, you keep getting. Go on.
Love is the water for the female.
Are you giving me a pop quiz on camera?
So in a marriage, see, in a marriage.
Sorry.
So we alluded to these two things, right? And so food for the male is love, and food for the female is respect. You need both. You need both food and water, but one is essential to life, which is water. But now we're going to talk about the secondary component, right? What is secondary? So
we're going to be talking about
respect. Right. So secondary for the female is respect, and secondary for the male is love.
Yes.
No. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
That's what we're going to focus on today.
How does respect look in a marriage for the female? We talked about how it looked for a male last week.
Mm-hmm.
So now how we're going to talk about. So my wife, she's going to deal with the respect that a female must have. You need both, food and water. You need both to survive, right? But we're saying that the secondary piece, the respect piece for the female is love. The secondary, respect. I got mixed up. The secondary piece for the male in the marriage is love.
Yeah.
So how does respect
look for the female?
Look for the female. That's what we're going to start with.
I, when thinking about this and preparing, wanted to focus on 7 areas. So the first one for a woman, I would say, is regard. Okay. And I'm giving these, I'm not necessarily saying in order of importance, but just naming them. So the first one is regard in terms of, does my thoughts and my opinions and what I have to say matters?
Right.
So many times we've seen couples and interacted with people over the years, and it's as if the woman's thoughts and opinions are not valued.
Yeah. And valuing everybody else's opinion over your wife's opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. So do you value what I have to say?
Right.
How I think, what my opinion is.
Secondary for the man, when you talk about love, okay, I will say loyalty. Okay. That's how love looks for a man. We look at it as being loyal to a point. So let me define that, because loyal looks different than a lot of people. So loyal means what it looks like. Are you standing with me in public? When we're together, are you not ashamed of me? Are you standing by my side? Are we standing together? Number 2, protecting the relationship from outside voices. Okay. That's loyalty. So in other words, that's one thing I can say now. If Kim will go to the grass, if it comes down to, she's not gonna let you talk about me behind my back. And that's how a man views loyalty, right? Not talking about him behind his back. Number 3, making him feel secure and not replaceable. Now, my wife had this time. She used to play this song all the time, over and over again. To the left, to the left, to the left. I thought she was trying to send me a message. I said, son, that song is bothering me. Are you saying I could be replaced? A man wants to feel like he's irreplaceable.
But you know what? I want to add, I know that's the man's loyalty, but really the loyalty and the regard go together. In essence, like you said, out in public, not, shaming me, undercutting what I'm saying. But however, when we get behind closed doors, the regard comes in. I can say, now, George. Right. Now, wait a minute. How you handled that, you could have done better. Right. You could have said that better. Did you consider this? And so the regard comes in that you're like, okay. So the loyalty, I protected you, or, when we were out and about, but you regarded me when we got in our safe space where we could have a conversation. And you listened to me to say, you know what? Maybe I didn't handle that the best way. Right. So the second one for a female as it relates to respect, I would say, is reliability.
Okay, explain that.
Can I depend on your word? If you say you're going to do something, are you going to do it? Are you going to be consistent? Are you steady? Are you predictable? Or I don't know what I'm going to get.
Now, remember, we're talking about how does it look, because you have to shape it. We're talking about love and respect. How does it look in public? I like that. Mm-hmm. When you talk about that reliability piece, right? If you say you're going to do something, do it. Yeah. I can or, see that. And that deals with like, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and I don't want to seem dogmatic about that, because things come up. But if something comes up, or there's a problem, there's an issue, there's a conflict, do you come back to the table and say, hey, I said, but this is what has come up? Or I just can't depend on you. Right. And so that's a problem. I can't depend on what you say because it's inconsistent.
What love looks like to a man is when you are listening to him and really hearing what he's saying, listening to him and really hearing what he's saying. A lot of times we've noticed that sometimes in a marriage, you're not listening to each other. you're waiting to speak. Now, we're going to be ministering this Sunday. I'm going to be ministering on, because we're still dealing with the marriage reboot. I'm going to be talking about the communication.
Okay.
Kim, I remember one time I was up in the morning, I was praying, I was in my prayer time, and I just heard the Lord say, communication is the key. Yeah. Communication is the key. It is the blood of a relationship. And so many times, sometimes we are not really, we're talking at each other and we're not talking to each other. We're not communicating on the level. So we talked about, so letting him speak without interruption, which I don't think many may have a problem with that, but I do understand this one, listening to understand.
I was going to say
and not listening to fix it.
I was going to say that not so much the fixing, but what people have to understand about communication, and maybe we're going to get to this later in the week, is to be effective with communication, there has to be understanding.
Yes.
See, there's a difference in communication implies that we're communicating, but there's understanding that's taking place.
Right.
If you're just talking, sometimes we just talking,
right,
and we don't know, or we're not taking the time to make sure that there's understanding.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's important. And that includes the listening piece and all of that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so the other one, the next one, number 3, for a woman in the area of respect is recognition. I say, do you see me? Do you see what I do?
Do you see what I
do? You see what I see? Do you see the mental and the emotional labor, not just physical things, but mental and emotional, the effort, what I'm carrying, what I'm lining up, what I'm putting together, not overlooking what I do on a daily basis. I remember, I'll tell you this brief story. Something happened. I don't know if I had to be out of town or if I was sick. I had some health issues, particularly when our youngest son was little, you know, and one day he had to go to the store with all 3 boys. And he called me back and was apologetic. He's like, nobody should ever have to do that. Do you remember that?
I remember
But it wasn't until he walked in my shoes that he could see, wow, I didn't realize she was doing all of this.
Right.
But
I've said that a song time. Did I cut you off?
No, I was just going to say, but then this kind of goes over into empathy, which we need in relationships. You shouldn't have to do it in order to recognize.
Right.
If I say that, hey, this is a lot, you should take me at my word.
Right. But, you know, empathy is the key to that. And that's one of the things I lacked in the early part of our marriage was empathy. Because a lot of times I didn't see that demonstrated or modeled from my father. I didn't see it modeled, you know, and a lot of times you got to think about it. We always talk about her mother, my mom, and a lot of those older women, they made things look so easy.
Yeah,
right?
You didn't see them complaining and griping about it.
My wife would always say, so her family, they would have these, you ever see soul food? And so her family would have these huge dinners, these big dinners, inviting all these different people over. And so my wife would always say, I don't know how in the world my grandmother fed all those people. How did she feed all those people?
Lord, I don't know.
But here's the key. How does she do it and made it seem so effortlessly, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you don't understand what a person is doing until you're in their shoes, And then once you're in the shoes, and you're like, wow, I can really, really understand it. I think that's one of the greatest things that came out of that last semester when I was going to school full time, and I had to take on a lot of the stuff. We kind of role switched, and I was doing a lot of the stuff in the house, and I was trying to make sure the kids get to school. I was like, I can't do this. I mean, it was a lot. I was forgetting stuff. My kids I would forget to feed them. It was a lot, y'all. And I honor you because you make it look so easy. Kim makes it look so easy. And when my wife, they hate to see my wife go out of town because they be like, I don't know if I'm gonna eat. I mean,
they do.
Or either they get excited.
They get excited because he doesn't do none of the rules that I
know.
said.
We finna eat out, baby. My wife, she does it, and she does it effortlessly. And so I honor you for that because as a husband, you know, our main thinking is providing, and we don't think about all the things that it take to manage a home.
All the details and the little things that make it go well.
Because you can have a house. You can have a house, two people living together. You can have a house, splitting the bills and splitting everything. But do you have a home?
Yeah.
Do you have a home? And I honor that. I think you did a really good. You do an amazing job making sure you have a home. All right. So, what does love look like for a man? What does love look like for a man? Number one. I mean, this is number 3. I believe that love looks like giving us leeway.
Okay.
In other words, when we make a mistake, it ain't
grace.
the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Give us grace. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
I forgot to feed the kids. I'm sorry. I didn't know they were supposed to be. I forgot to do X, Y, Z. I forgot. We're human. Giving him leeway. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I think one of the things, now you've never done this. You've never done this, but I've heard this before, is a lot of times, women will compare their husbands to their father.
Okay.
Right?
Or
it took or the pastor or whatever, but it took years for that man to become that.
Yeah.
It took years for him to become that. It took years for him to understand what it takes to be the breadwinner, what it takes to be the anchor, to grow and to become the man that God has called you to be, right? Mm-hmm. It takes time. That doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't happen overnight. So when you are willing to grow with me, right? Mm-hmm. And understand that, hey, listen, we all ain't nobody perfect. We all trying to grow together. We all trying to strive together. We're all trying to grow. It ain't the end of the world because I messed up. And even if I do mess up, hey, I screwed up.
And can I add with that? And I would even say, and I know that's not even on my list, but leeway, but just the grace in how you deal with it. In terms of sometimes we could say, well, okay, but you made somebody feel so bad, or you nitpicked so bad that it creates other problems.
That critical stuff.
Yeah, the critical stuff.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? That critical stuff. So I believe that. Okay, so it's now.
Okay, so the other one.
So now what we're dealing with respect, and we're dealing with love. So remember now, we say you need both. We allude them to both food and water, right? So we said the water for the woman was love, the water for the man was respect. But now we're dealing with the second part, which is the food, is what you can go without. So the food for the woman is love, respect. I messed up again. The food for the woman is respect, and the food for the man is love. Mm-hmm. And so how does that look? Because that's what we're looking like. What does love look like? A lot of people don't know what it looks like. And they're thinking it is love, but it's not. So now that's what we're dealing with. So what does love look like? Respect and love. What does it look like? How does it operationalize? Because a lot of times, like I was saying about another part of our marriage, I would say, you don't respect me because I was equating respect to fixing plates.
Oh my God.
Right? Or you didn't do this. Now, but when you really start breaking it down, how does respect look? How does love look? How do you know I'm doing this? And so that's what we're dealing with. So now we're dealing with the respect piece, and this is number 4, right? So number 4.
So for a woman, number 4 is responsiveness.
Okay.
So responsiveness in terms of needs and concerns. Do you take them seriously? Or do you dismiss me without listening? Do you respond instead of ignoring? Do you make adjustments? So responsiveness. Sometimes.
Or what about indifference?
Indifference. Yeah. Sometimes I'm saying something bothers me or it concerns me, and it ain't that big of a deal. Well, it may not be a big deal to you.
It hit me.
But it's a big deal.
See, the word that'll hit you. It hit you. Well, years ago, my wife, she was telling me that she was going like, I was going through all this stuff, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. And I said, okay, man, everybody going through something.
Yeah, right? He did. And I was really, he really hit a very rough patch in life. Right. And so I was trying to articulate, and sometimes it's challenging to find the words of what was going on with me. And he just basically said, well, everybody going through something. Okay. Right. So as if, you're just telling me to get over it pretty much. And that's not what I needed to hear.
Right. And we're talking about that respect piece, right? So when you look at that as respect, that's disrespectful.
It is.
That's very
dismissive.
disrespectful.
It's lack of empathy.
Right. Or like what you're not going through, it ain't what I go through every day. It's disrespectful. It's important to them.
Yes.
God does not even do that. My wife always says this. Kim always says, God is concerned about
what concerns you. In your battle, and sometimes we get in the habit of comparing and say, well, other people got it worse. They may, but that doesn't invalidate what I'm going through.
Yeah.
There is somebody who got it worse. And okay, but what does that have to do with what I'm dealing with? And that it's hard for me.
That used to make me so sad when I was back in the day. And my mom used to fix me food, and I didn't say I ain't like it. Mom would say, well, people in wherever country, they. I'm like, well, I'm not there. I'm here.
Did you get
I never said that to her.
Oh my God.
I'm saying what I thought.
I'm glad them thoughts didn't come out your mouth.
I'm not in that country. I'm in here. And that was, but
you would have had a testimony because she would have got
right.
you.
But in the same way, dealing with that's disrespectful. I'm not equating what my mom did was disrespectful. But I'm saying in the same way, when you don't have any regard for what that person is dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Or you know, what was that? Who said that? Well, is it poor mouthing? Poor mouthing? What was that? Something like, what you mean? You ever met a person? And maybe y'all can help me with this chat. You meet a person who can try to always upstage your story, right? So you say, man, when I was little, man, we used to get the lights cut off. But their story
we got the lights and the
water, and my uncle got shot. You know, you be like,
okay.
You know, it's like he's like, I didn't tell you.
This is not a story competition.
We're not competing for a story. Yeah, but like Les Brown said, when you tell somebody how you feel, 70% don't care and 30% glad as you. All right. So how does love look in a man? How does love look? I believe this is number 4. We always come to the end. Number 4, love to a man looks like lifting and support. Now, what we mean by support, we're not saying, help me with some of these bills, help me with that. No. What we're saying is that being our biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even when we have failed, even when we have missed it, even when we don't sometimes have it right, is, hey, I got your back.
Yeah.
I got your back. I'm in your corner, man. When we started this series, we talked about how when you come home, your home should be your charging port. It should be your charging port. It should be where you can come in and plug in and get that support. Fighting all that craziness out there, all that evil out there. Both of you are out there on the battlefield, fighting, trying to build something. And so when
just
you come
lifting
home,
each other up. Yes, I love that. I was laughing because I was thinking in my mind about my father. No matter whatever I told him in life, he was always a cheerleader. If I told him I wanted to go into politics, he said, you want to be Speaker of the House. He'd take it another level. And I thought about it when my husband first started off coaching, and I don't know much about sports. And it was something, and I think you were thinking about switching, and we started talking about being a referee. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can be a referee in the NFL. And I was just, but he was like, can't wait. Just I was like, you know that game. He was like, just hold on, baby. But just lifting each other up.
Right.
Okay, so respect for a woman. Number 5, restraint. Right? I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say what you say. Yeah. How do you when challenging times come? How are we speaking and acting towards each other?
Right.
Words you're using, tone you're using. We've worked with couples where what they say to each other, I'm like, really? You opened your mouth and said that to your spouse?
Yeah.
Like, are you saying things to tear them down? We can disagree. And that's one thing I can always say. We've been together, almost about 30 years, 31 years, something like that. We disagree, but I'm not going to tear you down.
Right.
I'm not going to intentionally hurt you. I disagree with you. I see it differently, but I'm not going to tear you down.
Right.
So I would say restraint.
The last one for us, I believe, what really, really builds what love looks like for a man. because a lot of times, you're thinking, every man wants, he'll never say this, we want to be desired. So a longing, you know what I'm saying? We want you to want us and only us.
So it's offensive.
I was talking to a friend of mine, right? And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking, and he's like, man, I don't think it's natural. This is what the person was saying. They was just pulling back a lot of history. He said, I don't think it's natural for a man to have just one wife. He said, I think when you look at scripture, when you look at Bible, when you look at this, men had multiple wives and stuff like that. Forgot about the scripture that says man, but anyway.
Off the friend list.
I said, well, here's the deal. I said, that's fine. Okay. Allow them to have multiple husbands. Now, a real man, he don't want no other man touching his wife. He don't want that. He don't want that now. But it's okay for you to, you see what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother message.
That's a whole nother message.
The message I'm talking about right here is that a man wants you to desire and want him.
Okay.
He wants you to be like, man, you are the apple of my eye. The Bible says that Sarah called Abraham Lord. And so I really want my wife to look at me and say, oh my God.
Oh.
You can't say that. Oh.
I can say. So it comes off offensive when I be like, you can go yonder somewhere else and watch the game and just leave the house.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Well, what I'm saying is like when I take a trip, like for example,
okay.
My wife did this last night. I was sitting down. I was exhausted, y'all. I was so tired. And I was sitting down on the couch with her watching TV. And she came and sat under me and she cuddled under me. And she said to him, and this really made me feel good, although I was tired.
Okay.
She said, you just don't know how you make me feel when you hold me in your arms. She said, I look forward to that.
Wife for the year.
So what I'm saying is, every man desires that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They
want to feel wanted.
They want to feel wanted. They want to feel desired. They want to feel like, hey, listen.
Not a burden, not just there to provide, but that you want me.
You want me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you want me. So that's what we've been talking about. What does love look like? Now we're going to talk about.
Two more on my list.
Oh, you did? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I only had 5. See, man, we're not complicated.
I'll quickly say my 2.
We only got 5. Hold on one second.
So I'll quickly say my 2. One,
I had to clear my throat, guys. That was disgusting to do that.
Oh, gosh. One is reassurance, right? So feel respect, emotional security, right? Affirming commitment.
Don't rush on the.
No.
Men only need 5. Y'all can have 30.
Letting me know valued and chosen. And then
I like reassurance, like affirming.
Just emotional security.
Okay. Explain emotional security.
So emotional security, affirming commitment. They kind of like you're saying, you're committed to me, clarity. I know that you've chosen me, you value me.
Yeah.
So that, and then representation, right? How you talk about me to other people. All right, speaking well.
Wow, now that's powerful.
How do you talk about me to other people?
Yeah, I say all the time, if you were to come on my job, people would think, when my wife walks in the building, people really actually think they know Kim. They be like, hey, Miss Kim, because I really talk about you a lot. I probably talk about you too much. They probably like, I don't know what this joke is talking about. Yeah, I probably talk about you a lot. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, so I just wanted to put those out there.
Yeah, but I like the one about reassurance. I really like that one.
Yeah.
So guys, next week we're going to talk about the language of love. Because remember, I showed y'all this picture, right? And then we're going to close out. I showed y'all this picture last week. I said, in this picture, you look at me and my wife right on this picture. I was shocked, and I had that lime green suit on. I should have known that my wife loved me because she stood next to me in that lime green suit.
I know. Y'all, why they let us put on them lime green outfits?
But at that point, I didn't feel like my wife loved me. I used to always say, honey, you don't love me. And one of the reasons I was saying that is because we have to understand that love has a language.
It does.
Love has a language. Love has a language in which it's communicated. Well, we just talked about these were actions, action items. For a man, action item is respect. That's number one. He does not want to feel disrespected. Action item number 2 is love.
Yes.
For a female, action item number 1 is
I'm sorry.
love.
You gonna stop giving these pop quizzes?
And then action.
It looked like I was trying to get I was gonna do a shout out to the people that have made comments, but I dropped my glasses, and I was trying to figure out how to get my glasses off the ground because I can't really see that far. And then you gave me a pop quiz, but go ahead.
Action item number 1 is love for the woman. Action item number 2 is respect. Okay, okay. So what we're discussing here is those actionable items and how it looks. To next week, we're going to talk about how it's communicated.
I like that.
How it's communicated, because I was saying to my wife for years, like, honey, you don't love me. And she's like, hey, didn't you see I did this? I did that. She was communicating it in the wrong language. Then me too. I was doing all this stuff, and I was communicating in the wrong language. Yeah. And so it wasn't, and so I was offended. And she was offended at times.
Yeah, I know. I ain't never get offended.
Yes, you did. I was offended. She was offended. But it took us a while to understand that, hey, this is the way you communicate love. This is how you communicate love. Yeah. Do I need to?
And I'll say this just really quickly. And not just the men and women, but there's also just, but we won't get out to that, preferences. And so sometimes we communicate in ways that are comfortable to us, but you have to learn how to communicate in a way because communication is about understanding. Right. And if there is no understanding, then communication is broken down. Right. And so communicating in a way that your spouse feels the love.
Don't miss Saturday. Because Saturday is the new Sunday now. So let me do my announcements right quick. Jonathan is not here. So, okay, here's our first announcement right here. So February 21st, Saturday, February 21st, Marriage Reboot at the Academy for Advanced Studies. Guys, please come and be a part of that. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You want to say anything with it?
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's also a special day, a pre-shout out to Yuri Carr. That's her
birthday, Yuri. That is her
February
birthday.
21st. So that's
I hope she's able to make it.
That's going to be a great day. We got a birthday coming up.
You can catch us every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. online. Remember, Saturday is the new Sunday. No excuse not to attend our service, because you can be shopping and still listen. But don't do like I do. Put your headsets on.
And don't shout in the store.
See, I walk through. I have mine blazing. When I'm listening to somebody, I dare.
Oh my gosh!
If you want to connect with us, you can connect with us by scanning that QR code, and we'll let you know all the wonderful things that we got going on.
Awesome. Yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We pray that you have a phenomenal week. Special shout out. My husband switched the comments off, so I don't see it, but special shout out to Mr. Gentry, Coach Cab.
Gentry, Cab, what's up, baby? Good to see you.
All of those that joined us, those are the only names I can really see from this part. There's others. Miss Sarah, there are others. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Spread the word.
Sarah,
share the link. Oh. Hold on, I think
Sarah
I can't see.
Casey,
I can't see that far, but okay. But I can tell this says Sarah at the front. So, all right, special shout out. Share the link. Have a phenomenal week, and we'll see you guys next time.
God bless you guys.
Take care. Bye bye.